Solid state. In this chapter, you will learn about crystalline and amorphous solids, different types of crystalline solids, crystal lattice, unit cell, close packing in 1 dimension, 2 dimension and 3 dimension, packing efficiency, calculation of density, imperfections of solids, point defects, stoichiometric and non-stoichiometric defects. You know that in solids, the constituent particles occupy fixed positions. So actually, the properties depend upon the nature of constituent particles and the binding forces that exist between them. And the relationship between the structure and properties helps in the discovery of new solid materials with specific properties. For example, carbon nanotubes are new materials. They have more conductive power than copper. So such new materials play an important role in the future development of science. Therefore, study of solid state is most important. You know that matter exists in 3 states: solid, liquid and gas. Consider the 2 opposing factors: intermolecular forces of attraction, which keep the molecules or the constituent particles together, and thermal energy, which keep the constituent particles apart from each other. Now, if the temperature is very high, thermal energy will be very high and the particles will be moving faster. What about the intermolecular forces of attraction? It will be very low. So, under these conditions, the substance will exist in the gaseous state. Now, here in this case, let the intermolecular forces of attraction be very high. So, what about thermal energy? Thermal energy will be very low. So, if the intermolecular forces of attraction is very high, the constituent particles will be very close to each other. That is, they will now occupy fixed positions. So, the substance will exist in the solid state. Let us now try to recollect the various properties of solids. You have studied that solids have definite shape and definite volume. The intermolecular distances are short. Intermolecular forces of attraction are very strong. The constituent particles occupy fixed positions and can only oscillate about their mean positions. They cannot be compressed, that is, they are incompressible and rigid. There are 2 types of solids: crystalline and amorphous. For example, consider quartz and quartz glass. Quartz is given to be crystalline and quartz glass is amorphous. So why quartz is considered as crystalline? It is because we find a regular pattern of arrangement of particles. And we can also observe that this regular pattern of arrangement of particles repeats itself periodically over the entire crystal. So quartz is crystalline. What about quartz glass? It is amorphous. A regular pattern of arrangement of particles is observed only over short distances. So, quartz glass is amorphous. Therefore, we can say that in a crystalline solid there is long range order. It means there is a regular pattern of arrangement of particles which repeats itself periodically over the entire crystal. So, what about amorphous solid? It exhibits short range order. It means a regular pattern of arrangement of particles is observed only over short distances. Let us now discuss the differences between crystalline and amorphous solids. Crystalline solids have a definite shape, whereas amorphous solids have no definite shape. Crystalline solids have a sharp melting point, whereas amorphous solids melt over a range of temperature. When a crystalline solid is cut with a tool, the newly generated surfaces are found to be plain and smooth, whereas in an amorphous solid, the newly generated surfaces are irregular. The process of conversion of a solid into a liquid is known as fusion, and you know that energy will be absorbed when a solid gets converted into a liquid. The heat change involved in this process is known as heat of fusion. And crystalline solids are found to have a definite heat of fusion, whereas amorphous solids do not have a definite heat of fusion. Crystalline solids are anisotropic, whereas amorphous solids are isotropic. Crystalline solids are true solids, whereas amorphous solids are false solids or pseudo-solids. There is a long-range order in crystalline solids. There is only short-range order in amorphous solids. Let us now see why crystalline solids are said to be anisotropic. It is because physical properties are not the same in all directions. That is, physical properties measured will have different values along different directions. Now, why are the values different? It is because in crystalline solids, the arrangement of particles is different along different directions. So, due to the difference in the arrangement of particles along different directions, crystalline solids give different values for physical properties like resistance, refractive index. So, that is why crystalline solids are said to be anisotropic. Amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. It is because the various physical properties measured are the same in all the directions.